All right, good Thursday morning. Good day yoga class. And to begin today, as always, we'll sit up tall in our chair. Head, neck, and spine is aligned. Roll the shoulders back and down. And close your eyes and begin attending to the breath. So just as a review, the breath has different qualities to it. It's even, deep, smooth, diaphragmatic. So it's coming from the middle belly, not the upper chest. So upper chest breathing elicits anxiety and more of the negative emotions as maybe depression or low mood, or heightened sensitivities that you don't need or want. So if you would place your one hand underneath the breastbone and above the navel. This is just a really good review. And you start belly breathing versus chest or shoulder breathing. So the right hand on the belly should be moving in and out. So on the inhale, the belly expands and your hand moves outward. And on the exhale, it contracts and your hand moves in. So when you're first beginning a practice or a breathing practice, it's often where people find that they're breathing opposite and they don't even realize it. So this is a good way to remind ourselves that the breathing has to be on the inhale, the belly expands, and then the exhale, it contracts. So just get that sensation of the hand moving outward on the in-breath and down or inward on the out-breath. Now what you can do is take your other hand and put it on your upper chest. And what you might find is that if it's still moving, then you want to work on belly breathing. You want to work on that lower right hand moving instead of the upper left hand. So the left upper hand should remain virtually still. As that bottom hand rises and descends. And this is something that you can practice all during your day, is if you find yourself, your breath rises up into the chest, then you want to go back to both hands, until you train yourself and feel that lower hand rising and lowering. This is the most important fundamental part of a yoga practice, is diaphragmatic breathing. So if anything you take away from today, it will be this. The movements will be secondary. So we won't spend too much time on this because we do this every single class. So once you've got that nice rhythm going, just release your hands, close your eyes, and now attend to that belly breathing. And if it's a little jerky or it has pauses in it, that's natural in the beginning, but that will smooth out the more that you practice and the more that you work with your breath within the asana practice or the movement practice part of yoga. All right. So let's gently open your eyes and we'll start to systematically relax the body. So if you take your fingertips and just run them along the forehead, and what we're doing is both physically and energetically releasing tension and pressure, off that forehead. So everything just kind of brushes off, and you want to think of it actually as removing it from the body. So you want to press and release. And you can even flick it off, if you want, if you are finding some tension there, or the wrinkles or the worry lines or the creases in between the eyebrows. That's a good one. So you want to get from the hairline right up to the eyebrows. So just release that tension, just nice and gentle. But give it a good firm pressure. All right, and then release that. Now take your thumb and your first finger and place your thumb in your inner eye, right underneath the eyebrow. And then your first finger is just going to go over the eyebrow. So what we'll do is the thumb will kind of cup the bony crevice of the eye socket, and you flick that up. So you're just kind of making, a curve with the fingers and pressing that tension off your eyes. And just flick it off again as well. So the skin along that upper bony ridge of the eye socket is tender. So be gentle with it, but give it enough pressure so you can feel it. There's acupressure points in there that help reduce tension in the eyes, which creates a lot of headaches. And then the same thing, take your first finger on the inner corner of your eye and then run underneath the socket and off. So now we're getting the whole socket. And do it to the capacity as gentle or as hard as you can handle, but make sure you're not, damaging the skin. So this is a great first class, for someone new into yoga. So we'll just kind of take it nice and slow. So there's just a few of us. And then from there, the first finger on the inner socket, we're going to massage the sinuses. So right down the edge of the nose. Just give that a nice good massage. And you can go out into the cheeks, especially if you feel a little clogged in the sinus area. Give that a good pressure and work that out, as this causes undue tension in the body that we are actually unaware of. And then that same first finger, go make a U under the cheekbones and up and off. So just a big U. And the same kind of pressure, just determine what feels best for you. And just keep just think of giving yourself a self massage that you're paying $75 for this and give yourself that health and wellness that we don't normally do every day. So now go to the upper jaw and just tap 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 right underneath the nose, right above the lip. Just tap that and keep your jaw softened. And these are the kind of things that you can do all during your day. You can't overdo any of this. And then do the same thing with your lower jaw and keep it relaxed. And then what I like to do is run right along the jawline and tap up toward the jaw joint and back down again with a softened jaw. And then when you're at that jaw joint, give that a nice massage. And then go both ways. Okay, now that we're at the ears, pull down on the lower lobes and then run your fingers right along the outer bony ridge all the way up and then pull up. So we're going to do that several times, pulling up, out, and down. Right on that bony outer ear. You give a nice gentle pull. And then take your first finger and massage your inner ear where all the little crevices are. Just kind of get in there and give that a good massage. And then get your Vulcan fingers out and run your fingers right in front of and in the back of your ear and massage up and down. You just keep everything nice and soft and relaxed. And we've taken most of the stress off the face. All right, and release that. Just take a little break, just rest your arms for a bit, especially if you're not used to doing this. And another good stretch is working with the mouth. So open your mouth as wide as you can and turn your eyes up, keep your eyes open, and stretch the whole face open as wide as you can comfortably without clicking your jaw if that happens to be an issue. And then squint. So purse your lips and bring everything toward the nose, really tight. We're going to do that again. Open. And squint. All right, now just relax the face. So working down into the neck. Sit up a little taller, roll your shoulders back, and then drop your chin to your chest. And roll the right ear over the right shoulder. We're going to take this slow, and then chin to chest, and slow is best. There's no need to speed through these, especially working with the neck. And then left to left. Now chin to chest, keep the back straight, roll to the right, and then roll to the left shoulder. And this is when you start taking notice of if there's a ping or a pain or an uncomfortable stretch somewhere. Notice where that is. And then it's one of your working points. Sometimes we wake up in the morning and we have that stiff neck. People call it a stiff neck. And it's generally in one spot. So kind of find it if that's today, and then we'll work through that. All right, then end chin to chest. So from here, sit up a little taller again, roll your shoulders back. Now let your chin get closer to your chest and let your head dangle. So now this is just releasing any tension from the head and the neck. And breathe. So keep the breathing even, smooth, and calm. So these are all the basic things that we begin with. Now, gently look up or come back to center is, generally how I refer to it. Come back to center and let your arms dangle to the side. Bring the right shoulder up to your ear. And let your right arm just go completely limp. Your hand and your arm is limp. So you're working just with tightening that shoulder up to your ear and then let it drop heavy. So you want to drop it heavy. And now bring it up again and really tighten it and then drop it again. Let's do the other side. So left comes up, tight, drop, and then one more time. Up and drop. And then just do both. Really tight and drop. And then do it again. A little bit tighter if you can, that's okay. We're going to create tension because we're teaching the body what tension is, then we're teaching it how to release it and then drop. So that's the whole point of tension and release. All right. Bring your right arm up and bring it right opposite your right ear and stretch up. So now we're working kind of with opening up the side of the body and reach. And we're going to bring that arm down. And do it again, same side. So the right arm comes up and reach, stretch, stretch up. Keep breathing. Try not to hold the breath when you're in tension. Keep breathing while you're in tension. And then when you exhale, release the arm back down. So same thing with the left arm. So you inhale it up, reach, keep breathing. So don't hold the breath. And then the exhale allows the arm to float back down. And then once again, inhale up and breathe and reach. And then exhale it, let it float back down. Gently match it with the breath as best you can. And you'll get used to that as time goes on. Matching the breath with the movement is going to come very, very natural for you. So take that right arm again and draw it across your chest and hang on to the back of your shoulder or your shoulder blade and reach across. So this is also keep breathing. And generally about, maybe count to 5. So when you match the breath with a movement, that's what eliminates anxiety and stress and the tension in the body. It's all just very simple things, but the breath matches. And then exhale, release it, and just switch to the other side. So bring that left arm over and reach it out. Try to straighten out the elbow if you can. And just keep breathing. Yeah, it's probably about 5. So exhale, relax that arm and just let both of your arms dangle. You just notice that open feeling already. So from here, shoulder roll. So up and back and around. Inhale up, exhale down. So go to your capacity where you match the movement with the breath. And generally, 5, 6, if you have more time, you can go upwards of 10. So drop your arms and just relax, take a breath, and we'll do the reverse. So bring the shoulders up and roll them back and down and forward. So you'll notice that you feel more opening in the upper back. I think I did that wrong. So once you've done in both directions, just relax the arms, sit up tall, and enjoy the breath. You should feel a little bit of an expansive feeling, just that little bit of movement. And then working down the body, it's called a seated cat stretch. So position yourself so that your legs are a little bit spread, one hand on each knee. And scoop forward and up and back. And then round your back and scoop forward and up and back again. So what you're doing is you're rounding the spine and then caving it back. So you round, you go one direction and then the other. And then the breath work is exhale when you scoop down and up, and inhale when you're arcing the back. So exhale and inhale. And cat stretch is one of the most fundamental postures in yoga. Every new student or beginner practices cat stretch because the purpose of it is that it moves the entire length of the spine in a very safe way with breath and eliminates so many causes of tight spots in the muscles that connect to the spine. So this is another one that you can do all during the day, especially if you're seated at the computer, if that's what you do. And cat stretch is the best thing to release tension. All right, let's do one more. And then pause, let your arms dangle once again. And just enjoy the sensation. You might be aware of some energy movement. And you might sense a feeling of breathing easier. Notice some of those things. And then another one that will really create those sensations is pelvic circles. So if you just lean forward and then to the side and back and the other side and forward again, now we're incorporating the hips and the lower spine. So they're just big, simple circles. And the breath work is exhale forward and inhale back. So the breath is always matching. When we contract the body, it's the exhale. And when we open up the body, it's the inhale. So really move the hips a lot. Get them really to feel a little bit more flexible and open. And often tension and even emotions get stuck in this part of the body, particularly for women. Sometimes it gets more stuck in the shoulders for men. But all of it has benefit. So 10 of these, 12 of these, something like that. And then always reverse it. So exhale forward and then inhale back again. It's always good to go in both directions. Sometimes you might feel something different going in a different direction, depending on, the idiosyncrasies of your body. And they are all different. Big, big circles. Really get a lot of motion in the hip and that pelvic bowl. All right, finish this last one. Doesn't matter where you start or stop. Just finish whatever your intuition says. Come back to seated and sit up a little bit taller again. Now we're going to do really tiny ones. So move as if you are moving your body around your spine. Think of it that way, like your spine is a pipe or a pole, and you're going to work around it. Very tiny. And then you can even quicken it. And these smaller movements work with the smaller muscles that are connected to the spine. So the larger ones are the large muscles that we're all familiar with. The tiny movements are called slow twitch muscles. this activates those, so those don't get left behind. And then you reverse that motion, just tiny. There's slow twitch and fast twitch muscles. All right, and then when you're done with that, just pause in your center, dangle your arms. You can even close your eyes if you want to for a moment, and you might feel tingling, an energy movement, a warmth, maybe a sense of comfort, something like that. And that's all of the feelings that you feel during, a yoga practice. And they'll become very, very familiar. And familiar to the point where you get so used to it that this is how you naturally feel all the time. So from there, instead of working down the body on the chair, I'd like to come to standing and maybe come back to the chair. So you let's see, have your chair handy. So this is the one I use, and I just put the seat of the chair toward me. So Jim, I know you haven't done this before, but if you can come to standing and bring your chair, the seat toward you, and you'll need some space. You'll need about this much space behind the chair, so you can do a little bit of a stretch. And I don't know if you can move your monitor up or down, so that you could see me better. But we'll go through this again. I know this is your first time, so. If you need to unmute, you can do that if you need to ask me something. You can just click on the red microphone. You're good? Okay. Thumbs up? Okay. So this is a basic sun salutation. We're going to be doing this in a lot of classes. So don't worry if you kind of mess up today, because we do this every single day for years. And they're called sun salutations. So you come into standing posture, and you align the head and the neck and the spine again. So everything is aligned. The shoulders aren't slumped forward. You don't have the little bump in your middle or low back or upper back, wherever. You bring everything in alignment so that the breath is flowing easily and smoothly. And then both feet are planted equally on the floor. And bring your hands to your heart center. So this is just kind of the centering, or the very first posture of a sun salutation. Then the second one is just pressing the palms forward with the fingertips up. So you just press forward, and then arms up overhead, and then create a little back bend. We'll do this a couple times today. Now bring your arms out to the side and lower your hands to the seat of the chair, and then lower your forehead to the seat of the chair. So what this is a forward fold, but not on the floor. So just lower your forehead and just kind of let your torso slump forward. Now step your right foot back, drop your knee to the floor, and look forward. So this is a lunge on the right side. Now step your left foot back so it meets your right foot. Press your hips back and bring your head in between your upper arms. And I just call this down dog. So this is a chair version of down dog. And then from here, you're going to hang on to the seat of your chair and scoop forward and up. This is cobra. You're going to forward and up. So you're going to bring your hips toward that chair and open up your shoulders and look forward. So this is probably the hardest part of a sun salutation if you're new at it. And then press back to that downward dog position. Your feet don't move, but just drop your heels to the floor. So now we're back in that down dog. Now step your right foot forward again and drop your left knee. So now you're in lunge position on the other side. Look forward. Now step forward and come back to that forward fold position with your forehead and your hands on the chair. Bring your arms out at a T and inhale up overhead and then create a back bend. So that's half of it. We're going to do the other side. So swoop down to the chair, forward fold. Now the other side, you're going to step the left foot back, drop the knee and look forward. Step your right foot back, let it meet the left foot. Press your hips back for down dog. And then come forward, bring your hips toward the chair for cobra. And then back to down dog. So your feet don't move. And then left foot steps forward for a lunge. Drop your right knee, look forward. It's just a runner's lunge. Seen it on the Olympics if you were watching now. And then step to forward fold. So drop your forehead to the chair again. Arms out at a T. Inhale up overhead. Create a back bend. And then bring your palms together and come back to the heart center of your chest. And then stand just in mountain pose. So that was one whole sun salutation. And we'll be doing that a lot. Okay, so now we're going to come down onto the floor. So if you need to adjust your monitor, to kind of bring it down, you can certainly do that. But find some space on the floor where you can come into either an easy seated position. Let's do this. Let's bring the soles of the feet together for a butterfly. That might be a little bit better to do today. So in butterfly, your hands are on your ankles. And then you start drawing the heels in toward the hip just a little bit if you're able. And then just start gently fluttering the knees. This is a little hip opener. All right, and then from here, straighten your legs out and point your toes up. And we're going to hug the right knee. So bring that right foot into the hip and just give it a nice hug. And then bring that knee out to the side. Sit up a little straighter. And then bring the knee up again and hug it. And this time, we're going to walk your hands down your left leg, go toward your foot. You don't have to reach your foot, like I do. Just go to your capacity. But try to reach and open the upper and middle back. And breathe. So these are the postures that, you have a tendency to hold the breath because you're contracted, but you still breathe. And then walk up the leg, straighten out your right one, and we'll do the other side. So tuck that left one in and give that one a good hug. And then open it up to the side. And back up, hug it. And then now start walking down your right leg. You know, go to your command, don't go to pain, never go to pain or that real uncomfortable feeling like you feel like you can't breathe. If you go that far, then you're compromising the breath for the movement, and that's not good. So you always want to make sure you're breathing properly. So only go as deep as your breath will allow you to. And breathe comfortably and deep. You want to enjoy the postures. All right, then walk back up that leg and straighten out both of your legs. Point the toes up, sit up nice and tall, and then just place your hands anywhere on the side by the hips for staff pose. Just so you start learning how to sit up straight without a curve in the back. And then relax that and open the legs comfortably wide. Doesn't have to be too much. And then bring the arms out at a T. And we're going to bring the right hand to the left foot. And then your left hand is straight behind you, parallel to the floor. And look back at the left hand. So this is called churning. So come back to center, kind of airplane it, you know, in and out, and then switch sides. So back to center. And then now we'll use the breath. Exhale, right hand to the left foot. Inhale, center. And exhale, switch sides. Inhale, center. Exhale, switch. Inhale, center. And exhale, switch. And just keep going. So let's play with working with the breath along with the movement. And if your breath is shorter or longer than mine, follow that. Follow your breath. So don't make the move, don't try to get the movement to work, try to get the breath to work. And then you feel much more comfortable, and that's what reduces anxiety and stress, to all those society emotions that we need to deal with. And everything meshes, everything is fluid. You never push into a posture. Just think of the word allow, allowing this to happen. So balance yourself on each side. So do one more. And then come back to center. And then just hug your knees to chest. Now, hopefully you have space to lay down on the floor, tummy down. So our transitions are as important as the movements themselves. So try to transition very gently on the body onto your tummies. And once you're there, lower the forehead to the floor and just bring your hands kind of opposite your face, palms down. So from this position, we're gonna go into more of a full cobra. So we did cobra on the chair during the sun salutation. So this is the floor version, but it's still modified. So your hands are kind of opposite your head. And the forehead's on the floor. Now you want to scoop up and look forward and just come up onto the elbows. And you'll notice you're creating a little bit of a back bend, but it should be comfortable and easy. And if it's not, then lower. So that's your inhale. Exhale and lower. Inhale, come up. Exhale and lower. Keep your head forward, your chest lifted. And just do several rounds of coming in and out of cobra. And if you have sleep issues, you can do this in bed. This is what I do if I wake up too early at 2 o'clock in the morning. I do this. And this gets me right back to sleep. I do the deeper version. I straighten my arms, where I bring the hands down and I straighten the elbows and I come all the way up. But I've been doing this for 20 years, so I do the more advanced version of it. But if you're able, you're welcome to, as long as it doesn't hurt your back. But to start out with, this is a beautiful way of coming in and out of cobra. Several times, inhale up, exhale down. All right, finish this one and then lower down so that your forehead is on the floor. And now we're going to go into a full, a really super rest pose. It's called crocodile, Makarasana. So how you get into it is you just cross your arms in front of you and you hang on to the biceps, not the elbows or the forearms. It's all the way up on the biceps, the upper arm. And once you're there, you walk your elbows in an inch or two so that your chest is lifted. And you lower your forehead onto your wrists. So if you can't breathe, you want to bring your elbows in more so that you can breathe very comfortably. So once you're there, then you spread your legs into as wide of a comfortable V as you can and bring the insides of your feet on the floor if that's possible. And this is full Makarasana. So I'm going to have you stay in a crocodile pose for a few seconds, actually more than a few seconds, because this is the posture that puts the body into the homeostasis space. In other words, it puts your body in a state of wellness because you are diaphragmatically breathing without you even realizing, without you even having to think about it. So in crocodile pose, you'll notice that your belly is pressing against the floor on your inhale, and then it's releasing on your exhale. So your body is doing it naturally, just like if you saw a newborn baby and the baby's on its back and the belly is lifting and lowering so naturally, so vividly. You can see that motion happening. We are born diaphragmatically breathing. We lose it very quickly. Generally before kindergarten, we lose diaphragmatic breathing because we're not taught it. And then stress begins right from school and it just escalates, until adulthood. So we have to teach ourselves to learn how to diaphragmatically breathe all the time. And crocodile or Makarasana teaches us that very easily. So in addition to cobra pose, if you have sleep issues, You can also go into crocodile pose, even in bed. It's best on a hard surface, but you can definitely try it for yourself in bed. So stay in crocodile and just start noticing what you feel. Now, it might be uncomfortable if you're new at it, but it becomes very comfortable the more you practice it. So if there are issues with emotions, mental, psychological, any of those things that crop up, within all of us, it's probably wise to go into crocodile pose anywhere in your home and stay there for 10 or 15 minutes until things subside. Some people fall asleep. Some people are uncomfortable. So you do have to kind of work through both of those. Try not to fall asleep, although that's probably okay because you're diaphragmatically breathing anyway, and a little nap certainly wouldn't hurt. But during asana practice, during a formal yoga practice, the mind is always alert and aware. Always. Generally, the eyes are always open. So you always are bringing in the energy and understanding and learning. So a few more seconds in crocodile. If you have to work through, working through your feet, if they don't, turn out, the right way, that's okay. It may come later on, or you may have to put the tops of your feet on the floor. Some people can't move their ankles that way. I don't know, but things that you want to work on, but don't ever talk bad about yourself that you can't do something. Just say, okay, this is something I need to work through and maybe modify or ask a question about. Always go to that rather than going into the negative self-talk. Okay, so from crocodile, gently roll onto your backs. So we're almost done. And the movements from standing to seated and from front to back are all very gentle, very mindful. Always know where you're at, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. So it's nice to hug the knees into your chest, just to begin. And then place your feet on the floor, knees bent, and bring your hands down by your hips, palms down. So we'll just do a very gentle arch pose. So in arch pose, all we do is you can use the pressure on your hands to lift the hips up. And in doing this, you want to keep the shoulders and the neck very relaxed. Don't tense up. Just keep them relaxed. Open, wiggle them a little bit if you want. Open the upper back, the neck. Let your chin just gently fall to your chest. Just let that happen. So this is your inhale. And then when you exhale, you just lower the hips back down and go back to more of a rest. So inhale the hips up, relax the upper chest and neck, exhale the hips down, and just keep going until you get a nice rhythm of the breath. And it doesn't have to be at the pace that I'm doing it. Generally, men have larger lungs and their breath is longer than mine. So you want to slow yours down. And it may match because you haven't worked with breathing in the lungs before. So it may be shortened, and that's okay too. It may be the same as mine. But once you start working with breath and movement, the lungs expand. And that is another sign of health. All right, let's try one more arch pose. Almost done. And let your hips float to the floor. Keep your knees bent, but this time bring your feet and your knees together and your arms out at a T. So just a simple reclined spinal twist. Drop both of your knees to the right and look left. And then come up and reverse that, knees to the left and look right. And then now add the breath. Inhale when your knees are centered. Exhale when they're to the side. Inhale, center, and exhale to the side. And then just keep going. Just like a wave, it's just a natural, beautiful motion. Match the breath. Gentle, easy motion. The knees are working. The spine is slightly twisted. Your feet are stacked. Your knees stay together as best you can. And then turning the head opposite the knees to bring that twist up into the shoulders and neck. And then everything starts to release in a beautiful, systematic way. Very synergistic. All right, let's do one more on each side. One more right, one more left. And then bring your knees back to center and straighten your legs out. This is the fundamental rest pose in yoga is called corpse pose, and the Sanskrit word is shavasana. So we come into full shavasana and full rest. And that is on your back with your legs spread about as wide as your hips or wider. And that allows the feet to fall to the side. And that helps relax the lower part of the body. The arms are away from the body, palms up, and that relaxes the upper body, shoulders, and neck. Your head is placed right in the center. Close your eyes. And then bring your mental attention to the very top of your head. And exhale down the width of your body, out the bottoms of your feet. And then inhale up through the feet, up the body, and out the top of the head. So continue that breath pattern, exhaling down and inhaling up. So generally we would stay here a little bit longer, but we're running out of time. And you can do the sweeping breath anytime you wish also to calm the mind and body. But we'll just do it a few times just so you get the feeling of moving the breath, energetically releasing anything that no longer serves you, and then bringing in the gifts from the universe up through the body and into the breath. All right, from here, bend your knees, roll to your left side, and press yourselves up, come back to seated, try not to pop up. Press yourself up, come back to seated. Bring your hands to the heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.